We are copyright.
Oops. Yeah,
So you
copyright.
you say we go live, but are we really live?
We are Schrodinger's live.
What is it to be live?
Oh, gee.
What is it to be living?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Eternal Playtesting Sessions, where we are developing a brand new tabletop role-playing game where the story is king and you have every opportunity to make things happen. Your choices are remembered by
Let's set this
NPCs.
game
And
on fire.
hey, no copyright. Stop
We
it.
can go higher.
I'm going to mute you. Don't even. I
To
have
be
that
fair, he does set things on fire.
power. Okay, Firestorm. All right. On that note, I
I
want to
can
give
too. It's just less effective because
True.
it's just.
I want to give you guys
it's more like
each the
superheated
chance
plasma.
to. I want to give each of you guys a chance to recap your different scenes. For the time being, Quarry, as you have been out, unfortunately, from the last session that we were able to play, I want to give you the chance to experience kind of in a weird headspace for Quarry. He's kind of been inundated with all of the politics and rules and regs, the fine print of what it means to be royalty, to lead a city. And even though you are of a royal bloodline, you are kind of, in essence, the arbitrator of different disagreements that exist amongst the houses.
Arbitrator? I think you mean arbiter, my good man.
Yeah, that. Thank you. You are the arbiter. Wagga, 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 wagga.
Wart, 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 wart.
Wabba-dug. Wart, wart, wart. I got corrected. That's okay. That's what friends
By
are
the
for.
rings.
All right. By the rings. So on that note, Firestorm, in the course of all of this, I imagine you were looking to your cohort, your different members of this group of supporters, advisors that you have brought alongside you into these council chambers. But what you're realizing is they've kind of gone their separate ways. Like they've Kieran has been exhausted. He asked if it was all right if he left, and you gave him the look of, please don't leave me here.
And he did anyway.
And he did. So
I did. I'm sorry, but I did, dude.
Ophelia,
Kieran's tired.
Wow.
in doing her best to advise you, but lacking that political savvy, after a while, when things started calming down, she departed as well. And well, excuse me, the room was cleared. You were taken to a different chamber to have more private discussions with your other Stonebrow specific advisors, the people that were connected to the other houses, but that were ultimately there just to tell you about some of the central issues that have been going on. I'm going to have you roll a D4. And it's just a flat roll. I want you to roll it and give me the number that's on there.
Okay.
Make sure you each have your character sheets up as well.
No.
I got a dose.
A dose. That number was to determine how many really important pieces of information you were able to glean as Quarry was listening to this inundation of information, right? There's just so much, right? So here's the thing. Those pieces of information, I'm not going to choose. You're going to ask me a question regarding any of the 6 houses, the city, any of the controversies, any of the imports, exports, anything you want to know about the city. You have 2 questions that you can pick up on based off of what he's able to remember. So whatever questions you have, Micah, as a player, what do you want to know about Kael'vor and its current state? It's beefy. I'm giving you a nice little bone here. So what you gonna do with it?
Is this information free of hold on one second.
Mm-hmm. So as he's thinking about that, I'm also going to update, kind of give a brief overview of everything else that we were experiencing. We learned in the course of Andal's scene work and in his interactions with Narayan that not only did Narayan elect, not only does he have the capacity to immediately detect an infected individual, and not only did we learn that one of the people in Ophelia's extended family being infected, but that Narayan, for the first time, elected not to go immediately purge the infection, which in his case, it's like treating a scalpel problem with a hammer. That's how he deals with those kinds of things. But in so doing, Ophelia was able to walk and encounter Narayan as he passed by, leaving this particular restaurant, this family restaurant of Ophelia's extended family. And that's when Narayan disappeared into the crowd. That's when Andal approached and said, basically hinted at this idea that he wants to pursue dragons. And we're going to leave that up in the air for when Memo is able to rejoin us. And for now, I want Ophelia to go into this with the idea that, okay, interesting. I'm going to log that back here for a few minutes. And for the continuity's sake, Andal is going to be pursuing some leads relative to that. Okay? That leaves Círdan. Now, Micah, I'm not certain where you've gotten to, and that's totally fine. If you can still hear, this is for your benefit to help you know what's going on and how Círdan's revelation directly impacted you. So if you're there, I want you to make it known.
My revelation that I haven't told him yet because I was away from him when I had it.
Correct. So if we want to save it, we're going to save it for the moment when we all meet back up. Okay. And that's kind of the vibe that we start off on. Each of you has had a key interaction that leads and lends itself to something deeper that is happening in conjunction with each of your different experiences, okay? And Ophelia, I actually did skip over a major component of your experience. As the Firestorm was shepherded off by his advisors, he was basically left you alone. Like, you were in the council chambers on your own. And as you were doing that, you were observing this like Art Deco style like design to the Stonebrow world. And maybe it's a cultural thing, maybe it's a Kael'vor thing, maybe it's a Stonebrow thing, but that's just how things are built here. Hard lines, angles, very geometric and very beautiful, very stoic, very dark. It kind of lends itself to more shadow. And as you were doing that, I don't want to steal much more from you because I want this recap to kind of take place in real time to help Quarry catch up. But that's where we're going to come back to Quarry. Micah, have you had the chance to think about your two questions? What two questions do you think Quarry would remember the answers to after all of this?
I, the player, want to know if this information will be unbiased.
This information, near as you can tell, will be only what your advisors have given you.
Okay, are these advisors loyal to the crown itself? Or are these
I think if that is what you want to push, I want you to make a roll, and I will tell you there are 5 representatives present. I'm going to roll a d6 and subtract 1 from the result. If there's a 1, I'm just going to re-roll it and do the same thing. But that's going to determine which of the houses are present and which of them potentially are on your side. So let me do that real quick. Okay, 4 houses are currently loyal to you, and based off of my notes, actually, that tracks. You have been. There it is.
The one old guy when I was like, see, don't we have a procedure of law to follow? And he's like, yes,
yes, we do.
I like him.
Okay, so here's the deal. One of the things that Eternal does differently is it tracks your decisions. And some of those include social threads, these fuses that burn throughout the story. Once they reach the end of a thread, something explosive happens that can't be taken back and that you have to deal with. So with this particular thread, this is the unity of the 7 houses. When you have 4 people, 4 houses aligned with you and your party, Quarry, that means that there's a split. The houses will have a delayed response when it comes to you enacting official declarations in the city, for its benefit or not. But to get more people, you would reasonably be able to start persuading them one by one, meeting with each of the leaders one by one to bring them to full bore, because full unity with the other houses is going to mean that they respond to all commands. When you have full unity across the entire council, they will do exactly what you say in the moment that you say it. So that's a tool that you get to use and leverage on the social level. But for now, what you can see is that there are 4 houses unified to you.
Hammerspell is not one of them because he's a dick.
No, Hammerspell started off nice and then he was a dick.
I will admit Kieran probably didn't help with that.
No, there's certain elements to your prowess as a political figure and negotiator that were not super beneficial. Let me double check here.
They were not anticipated, and he was not pleased by it.
I will also argue there's certain threads that I want to keep hidden from you, but there are stories that are happening behind the scenes that are going to impact how well you can proceed, and they have direct correlation to how well unified the council is, even outside of that number that I gave you, right? Just because they're unified to you does not mean they're not divided amongst themselves. So you have to be aware of that, and you have to negotiate that if that's the kind of power play you want to do in this game. It's very layered. You don't have to even interact with it if you don't want to, but it changes how gameplay manifests. So in looking at this, the biased information that we're talking about here, I think every one of the advisors that's present is trying to help you. Now, there were some people that were... Let me actually double check here. There were houses that were, I believe, that had abstained or were more neutral, but I want to confirm that and make sure that that's clear. Regardless, I believe every house that is present here is trying to help you in your goal. What are you looking for? So I'm not going to count that as your first question because I feel like that was a more logistical issue. But what 2 questions do you think Corey would know the answers to or remember the answers to after this discussion?
And the discussion is just
it's updating you about the state of Kael'vor as it is right now.
I really want to know which houses have like the most corruption in them.
Ooh. So how do you think that would play out in the moment? You don't necessarily have to think of a full, like, do you think Corey would just ask bluntly, like, do you guys support me? Or like, does your house leader support me? Or would he be more pensive about it?
I think he'd be pretty upfront about it.
Cool. I think that in that moment, House Oathbane, they're the people, and Embermantle as well. They were the ones that were completely supportive. Okay, Embermantle is the city guard. Oathbane are the ones that deal with law. Okay, they're on your side right now. Obviously, Badgermole is you, and you voted for yourself, so that counts for something. Those that abstained or withheld their full support are House Ironroot. It was cautious. There was kind of a peer pressure. Yes, but it wasn't really full support. House Deepforge was also one that was kind of neutral to this. They want to push output, especially around Deadstone ore. Okay, so any ores that they're coming up with, especially Deadstone, they really want to hear you say, yes, let's go full bore. Let's get this out there. And you're not even certain why, I don't think. Go ahead and roll me a smarts roll, just to be sure.
And which house was it that was going through this?
Deepforge. Deepforge is withholding full support, that you can tell, just based off of the room when you held the vote to say, oh yeah, we're voting you in. I'm gonna go with a D8 because
it was like a half raised hand instead of a full raise.
Yeah. It was like more of a nah. Kind of
enough support to give you the seat, but not enough to say I 100% trust you.
Right. The number you're trying to beat on smarts, just to determine how that plays out, is 7.
Were we on D8 still, or are we D10s?
You are in D10.
It's been a while. Okay.
It's fun getting leveled up, isn't it?
That is a 13.
13. So, remind me again what angle you're looking for with this.
Um, Quarry's just thinking, hey, some guys are good and some guys are bad, and I really want to know who the bad guys are.
Okay, so let's see. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Sorry, I had my lines crossed on that end. Okay. There we go. Well, it's thinking. While those that supported you are House Oathbane, the legal guys, and House Embermantle, the city guard. Those that withheld support are House Ironroot and House Deepforge, even though they kind of essentially were like, yeah, okay. Ironroot were the gardeners, the agriculturalists. That's their guild.
The quiet lady.
Mm-hmm. Deepforge are those that are miners. That's their whole shtick. So there's a reason why he's pushing it, even if above table, he doesn't really get the danger behind it. Let's see. I want to make sure that I have this right. Gem Carver. Those are the economists. Those are the ones that are counting the coin at the end of the day. So 4-2 in favor, meaning that Deepforge was more pragmatic in its support. Gem Carver actually opposed because they didn't have the assurances of you being in favor of selling out the Deepforge stuff. Even though Deepforge did support you pragmatically, they were there in body, but not necessarily in spirit, in integrity. So they were there by word only. Ironroot, Embermantle, and Oathbane, which Ironroot is the agriculture, Embermantle's the guard, Oathbane is the law. Those are the ones that are on your side. Because you did things legally. And the fact that Kieran was there offering the legalities really helped you sell your position and earn their trust. That's the first question. What's your second?
Because he's so focused right now on the Tauren and stuff, he wanted to know, he was paying close attention to which like districts were showing the most kind of like organized crime.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. One of the issues that you're seeing is because of your connection with House Embermantle, the city guard, they are simultaneously the city guard and the regional militia. Okay, so they have a dual function. And oftentimes they will actually rotate to serve in the city and on the regional borders of Kaeldor. And it's kind of a city state, so they kind of function that way. They frequently patrol the countryside to make sure that no invaders or spies have snuck in. You find that based off of what House Embermantle's representative here is offering you, they are letting you know, and Kieran, Hayden, it might be important for you to understand this as well for your revelation as we get into it. So just keep this in mind. House Oathbane is their district and their work is legal, and they have to have a representative for crime or for investigation of a crime at every occurrence that's reported. They are busy, and they are busy all over the city, but there's an emphasis. You find that those that are involved with Deepforge, because this city is not necessarily districted like the Amorous Cove, it's kind of just a hodgepodge with different cells of each house represented in each ring, and neighborhood of this city. It's dense. There's no way to say, oh, it's just this area. It's just this. It's kind of everywhere. But where you can hone in on is the houses specifically. So those in House Deepforge, those related to House Deepforge, those are the people that are dealing with the mining. They find that there's a lot more violence in districts closest to their storehouses. House Ironroot is having issues only because people are simultaneously stealing from stockhouses of food during the middle of winter, and a harsh winter at that. And food was scarce. It was a poor harvest season this year. House Embermantle itself has been busy. They're not paid by the arrest, so that's a good thing. There's no corruption there. As far as corruption in House Oathbane is concerned, they just want the law to be upheld. So they are kind of buddy-buddy with Embermantle. Hammerspell, interestingly enough, is very busy. They're dealing with spells. They're dealing with all kinds of different alchemical and magical means and research. In fact, you would dare say, based off of what the rep from that house is giving you, which this would be the one that's kind of not as open with you, they are doing a lot of research, and that is all you can glean from that person. Gem Carver is a little bit more forthright in that the city's coffers are starting to struggle because cost is going to a lot more work for Embermantle as crime goes up across the city and as the means of provision and food specifically are starting to dwindle. Keep in mind, you guys have been traveling for about a month in the snow, and the snow has only been increasing as you've gone closer to Kael'vor. In fact, the past 2 days that you've been here have been the most calm that you have seen it on your trek since the snow started when you arrived in the region. Does that make a bit more sense?
Yeah. Is there any organized crime that isn't dealing with any of the houses?
Organized crime not dealing with the houses. There are reports from Embermantle that they suspect that there are underground cells of spies. And in fact, why don't you give me some kind of persuasion or some kind of discernment roll? You tell me what flavor you're looking for, and we can roll with that. But I'm going to be rolling. This is a little harder, so I'm using a D10 to determine how much they're willing to give you. The number to beat is an 8.
Let's see. Some kind of persuasion roll. What? That'd be like intelligence, I guess, again?
Intelligence, will might also be a good option as well. Brawn,
Yeah.
if you want
Will's-
brute force.
Will's gonna be real good.
Great. Go ahead and roll that for me. You're beating an 8.
Yeah, I beat it.
Okay, what's the number?
It's 10.
10? Awesome. Remind me your question one more time. I'm trying to cycle back and forth and track certain things.
I wanted to know if there was any organized crime that didn't necessarily have to
Thank
deal
you.
with any specific family.
You notice that there's a lot of talks with spies and spy networks, like informationalists, those that are trading in data and information. That's not necessarily a crime because as far as they can tell, there haven't been any state secrets sold or traded. And with that roll, you didn't get a crit, but that's about as specific as I can give you outside of that. And you know, even without the crit, exactly who they're talking about. I believe those are your 2 questions.
Yes.
Okay. So those are done. You have spent the entire day getting inundated with procedure and, the coronation needs to be this day at this time because the sun is in the proper place. All these weird little things that have to do with the culture of Kael'vor.
Yes.
You can get into that if you want.
Stars. Can't do it. Not today.
Exactly. So with those thoughts in mind, you are left alone in your quarters. And upon leaving, one of your actual house servants, someone that you've nicknamed as Nickel, I think is what his name was.
Oh, shoot.
He is the only one that enters the room after the other advisors from the different houses have departed for the night. Your quarters, I want you to tell me what something bougie would look like to Quarry. What do your quarters look like in this place?
Black granite.
Black granite.
Ooh.
Cool. I imagine there's like a roaring fireplace. Underground is cold, but you have the means of providing this massive hearth in your bedroom. Which is ironic because you are the firestorm and it's a massive fire going on. No windows. There's actually no artwork either. You would imagine, like, if you were to roll, go ahead and roll senses for me. This isn't going to be very difficult for you.
Okay.
Yeah, not at all. You're going to crit regardless. So, as you sit in the room and you look around, you can tell that there's actually dust outlines from where previous artwork was very recently removed. They are large portraits, massive. You don't know what exactly was there. You can only tell that it was something square, rectangular that was on the wall. It was at least 8 feet tall and 5 feet wide, just massive. What kind of bed situation do we got here? 4-poster? Do we have an open like Texas king style bed, Alaska king style bed? Like what are we looking at here?
It's stone.
A stone. It's like a carving of a mattress more than anything.
I think what happens is that being the king of the stone brows is like such a important and symbolic thing that like the bed is literally made out of stone because it's like the king is one with the stone, one with the stone brow.
It's like beds in Markarth and Skyrim.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice.
And so with that symbolism comes that like what would you call it? That duty to be one with stone. So he sleeps on a stone bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really uncomfortable. However, there is like a gigantic, what is it called? Lazy boy in the corner.
Oh my gosh. Just a giant pillow. Huge.
And so that it's been generations or many years at least since we've had a king. But like definitely on the low end, nobody knows about this except for like the royal attendants, but like the king sleeps on the lazy boy because that bed is not comfortable.
You go and you turn around and you just descend. You let yourself fall into the lazy boy. It's been a day, bro.
I definitely try to sleep on the bed first because like there's no way, right?
Right. It's massive. It's the biggest bed you've ever seen. And go ahead and roll me a brawn check.
Okay.
It's like Louis XIV having the subjects watch him go to bed.
Oh boy.
Going to his actual bed.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 12 on a d20.
I got a 6 total.
I'll give you something more realistic, okay? Let's make it a d10. Okay, get crit on, scrub. It was a 15. So
Okay.
yeah, there's no way. The minute you lay your body down, maybe you even doffed your armor, but the minute your head touches the cold marble stone, nope. How would you how would you get up and move yourself over to the lazy boy? How would you descend into comfort?
Decisively.
You say, nope, sit straight up. You shuffle over to the end of the bed, plop over, you march over to the lazy boy, and you just give yourself away. You let your arms go out to the sides, and boom. You don't see it, but there is a shower of dust that poofs up from the escaping air of this lazy boy. And it is at that moment precisely that Copper is then able to... Apologies, sire. Just wanted
Hey,
to...
Nickel.
Right. All right. So, just making sure that your first day was not too stressful. If you'd like some mead, if you'd like
He's
some...
already snoring.
Right. Just letting you know that your friends are looking for you. I'll talk to you later. I'll send them up to your room.
I don't know if you can hear the snore over the...
I love that he's just accepted that he's Nickel now.
Yeah. He's that intern that doesn't have the guts to tell his boss, that's not my name. And so let's jump...
I do still love that he's ride or die.
Yes. Let's go to Ophelia. You have just departed. You and Andal have had your confab, and he has let you know that he's going to actually depart for a little while to investigate further into his dragon spiel. He's talked to you about it. You filed it away for now, and right now you just want to focus on talking to your friends and exploring whatever the frick just happened with Bartholomew. So, that in mind, where are you going first? You can go back to the Badger Mole estate, or you can go to the Chapel of the God's Hands. That's where you know your people have been in the past.
Yeah, I think I would probably go to the chapel first.
Okay.
Just find whoever I can find over there.
So it's getting dark. Like there's a reason that Quarry is now in his room. He's been retired to his quarters. Not he chose it. His people pushed him in there because, okay, you've had a lot. Go sleep now, Your Highness. You're so wonderful and lovely, and we're grateful for you. It was a very weird vibe. You, on the other hand, I want you to. I keep throwing this over my shoulder, thinking it's going to help me, but it keeps on drifting down. Whatever. I want you to roll me smarts, just to give yourself the opportunity to observe and track your way back home in the dark.
That's not good. So I rolled a 2, so that's a 4 total.
Okay. Well, I will give this straight up. It's not very chaotic. Like this city is just above absolutely peaceful. Like it's the humdrum of city life at night. You're finding things do slow down. This isn't a harbor town, so it's not quite as active as the Amorous Cove at night, from what you remember. But it is enough that there's a hubbub. There's a lot here. And as carts go blurring by and people are kind of shuffling around, hey, watch it, and they're like, oh, hey, Johnny, and just the hubbub of life at night, right? You don't recall specifically what direction to go. You can parse your way. But you smell a lot of the different food that's here. There was a lot of like spice, like caliente, like picante, I should say, when you were in the Amorous Cove. Here it's more hearty. There's a lot more savory, and like cinnamon is probably the most spicy you would get in this town. But just think about like the smells of different gravy, the salty and kind of sweet, but mostly designed to get your mouth watering and drizzle over literally everything. There's smoked and cured meats. There's the equivalent in this world of beef, pork, chicken. Fish is kind of a no-go here. You're definitely inland. It's definitely, if I was to tell you what kind of cuisine is here, it's the basic American meat and potatoes. That's it.
Got it.
But that's the kind of smell you get. Your baked potatoes and chives with cheese. You get your savory meats that have been smoked for weeks at a time that you're just like, this is actually, it's jerkified now, but with a little bit of extra flavor and sauce, it actually kind of helps soak it in and turn it back to some kind of chewable. There's a lot going on here. It's actually concerning to you. You're a person that's well acquainted with vegetation and gardening, and it's just kind of what your family does. You work with fruits and vegetables to provide for the brewery. There's not a lot of veggies here. To the point where you're like, that's weird. And from what you remember, one of the things that was concerning to you, that might have been concerning to you, was during the meeting in the council that you discussed different elements of like plague activity, deadstone activity, that they were concerned about agriculture in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why there's a shortage. There's an abundance of the other resources, but agriculture, plant life, fruit, it's almost non-existent. In fact, as you're walking up the street, go ahead and roll me a senses.
That's better. That's a 12.
So with a crit, you're able to see, like, just scanning up and down the road, if there are fruits or vegetables, they cost 7 times above markup value. So the profit that a business needs to make in order to sell, to find it, grow it, pick it, and then sell it to you, that's got to pay someone behind the counter. So the markup accounts for that. This is 7 times more than what should be paid for just to keep the business going. It is that rare.
The comparison with the Amorous Cove is that sometimes it was below market value because there was so much.
Exactly right. As you are going through the town, I'll give you one more with that crit. You see, it's odd because the body types of these people don't really match, but their uniforms, if you want to call it that, they do. You notice that there is a tall, lithe person, maybe a woman. They have a little bit of like the hourglass and the hips kind of shape to her. She has a white vestige, a robe that almost feels like it's cut from like one piece of cloth, even though it's stylized very well. It goes around the arms and down the body to the ground. White boots that don't even seem like they're picking up any of the ashfall that comes from the volcano, the active volcano that's behind you and around you. As you watch this person, they stand probably a head taller than most of the average height people, like the Mundani that are here. And that's to say that Mundani are a head taller than the Stonebrow. So this is a tall person. When she turns to face in your direction, not at you, but up the street, she looks and you see this carefully crafted porcelain mask. This isn't like a baby doll porcelain, like a decorative doll that you would have. This is the
like
eyelashes.
Like a Venetian mask.
Yeah. So the Venetian style is a half mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is full. It is one single plate of porcelain. It has eye slits and it has a mouth slit, maybe to breathe, maybe to speak. Sure. But the weird thing is that it's super angular. They're even like the eyelashes that are painted onto this mask are triangles, really sharp, acute triangles. The mouth has a rouge lipstick painted on it with a weird like lower lip line that goes almost to the chin of this sculpted form. And the eyes give the impression of having this almond shape to them. The face is neutral. And beyond that, there is no other painting except for maybe a little blush. Very, very light dusting of blush across the cheeks. When this woman turns back around, she continues up the way and starts engaging with someone behind a counter. Another person that you see with the exact same mask. Another woman. This is a Stonebrow that you see. And she's a little stockier, a little squatter. And she is actually kind of haggling it out with someone who is trying to sell her some provisions of meat. And she's making the argument, well, I could just go to your competitor up the road. Beans and Broils, I believe was his company name. Well, he's just going to cheat you out. And it goes into this whole little bit, but there's a presence here of these people with masks. And it's not that they're being clandestine. It's almost like it's part of a uniform. With a little bit of help and poking around, you'd be able to get directions to where you want to go. The market is full of Stonebrow. Mundani are rare. Even more rare would be your Acidra, the wisps. It's really just dense with Stonebrow and some moss feet. So you can pick someone out and we can go talk to him if you want.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go for the nearest person.
Great. So the nearest person out of those four, yeah, you approach a Mossfoot. This man is tall, proud. He looks like he has the bearing of a soldier, but he doesn't have a uniform. He doesn't have armor. When you approach him, when you make a move towards him, his eyes snap at you from the side, gives you the up down. And when you finally start to engage, you ask for directions, I would imagine. Go ahead and roll me a will or a smarts to try and persuade him.
I'm going to go will.
So as he gives you the up down, there was a reason for that, especially with that roll. As you are critting on this guy, he rolled a 7 total. So you definitely crit on him. You learn from... It'd be better to act it out. Let me just do this for you. Your Excellency, I apologize. There's... Right. He actually tries to like give this really awkward bow. He doesn't know how to act around you. That's weird. Feel free to comment on that or do something about that. But
okay, no need for formalities. I'm not royalty of any kind.
That I understand. It's because you're serving the new king.
All right.
And well, I hope that's. I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to call attention or anything like that. It's kind of when You look like you're trying to go places, and I'm not really. Do you need help?
Yeah, so
Right. How can I help you?
I'm very new to this place. Looking for the Chapel of God's Hand.
Right. Well, you did just arrive 2 days ago, didn't you? And it's kind of weird that he knows this. If you go down this road about 50 paces and then make a right-hand turn, you're going to follow that for about 2 minutes. You should see the spire, even in the dark, because of the volcano. It actually eclipses really well with the flame off of the clouds. So just keep an eye on that.
Oh, right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Oh, and just so you're aware, my name is Orr. If you ever need any sort of fine wares of pottery or silverware, cutlery, you just ask about where Orr's wares are, and I'm your man.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Orr.
kindly, lass. Your Excellency. Yeah.
Lass,
And
Lass is fine.
What's that?
Lass is fine.
Well done. Okay, lass. Thank you. And he will beeline up the road and make the first right. It doesn't even have to be the main road. He just bees up to an alley and just disappears from sight. You now have your directions. I imagine you go straight home.
Well, first she's going to watch him haul tail out of here, and it's like, I hope that is not going to be a common thing. Otherwise, things are going to get real weird real fast.
Go ahead and make a senses roll.
Granted, I know that Kierden didn't really speak to anyone on his way back. He just kind of beelined it right back to the chapel. But he didn't have anyone acting weird like that to him, so.
The number to beat is a 7.
Meets a pizza.
Okay. You are aware that there are more eyes on you now that interaction has taken place.
I'm going to pull my hood up just a bit higher over my head and start working.
Okay. Here's what you don't see. Because you've already passed her, the tall woman in the ceramic mask has been watching you. You round the corner. You see the spire, exactly like he said, silhouetted in red against the volcanic eruption that seems to be perpetually broiling at the mountaintop. You go up, you enter, you close the door behind you. It's after hours, so there's not really any services going on here. When the door closes, you hear and the grinding of stone on stone like a millstone at work when you finally see that some behemoth has stooped down to look you eye to eye, and even so, he's still looming over the top of you. It's Derek's.
Evening.
2 little fingers.
You had me scared for a second there, Dan.
I like. All right. Derek's kind of motions and beckons you and points to the staircase, points to the kitchen, to where leading to the staircase to the upper story. Once you get to the kitchen, that's where you encounter Jeffrey. He's actually poring over a scroll and like writing notes on the side. He sees you come in and takes off some half-moon spectacles. Oh, Ophelia. Hi. Just writing down some notes for tomorrow's sermons. I did notice that you were... I did notice that he was kind of in a sorts. He looked pretty tired, but I knew that he was trying to call for discussion at some point, but I told him to get some sleep. So you may check on him. You may just try to see what he needs. Just be gentle about it. He could still be sleeping.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
I'm debating if I should talk to you about this now, or if I actually have the energy to tell the story more than once.
I would imagine if it's that taxing, you should probably save it for the one go.
Right, I'll say it for the one go.
All right.
Upstairs.
Is this like a interpersonal matter, or is this a group matter?
It's honestly probably best to be a group matter.
Okay. You see him kind of get a little more reserved as he's now in a spiral. What on earth? You've been gone for this long and you arrived by yourself? So that's kind of where he's going. Yes, I apologize. You can head back up the stairs. I'm
Oh
certain
no,
that you've
you're
lost
you're
something.
you're fine.
Excuse me. And he'll start scribbling notes back down again. So would you like to go up the stairs? You want to grab a bite to eat, like a fruit that might be on the counter?
I will. If there's a piece of bread, I will grab that since fruit is in short supply.
There is no fruit on his counters. In fact, you see that what bread is still there is stale and looks to be like the butt end, the nub of a long piece of French bread, but it's all he's got. You also see some candied jerky, which is kind of odd. It's been spiced, like smoked, but it's also had like a honey glaze over the top of it, so it's sweet and spicy. It's almost like a chipotle flavoring.
I'll grab some of that.
Okay. He'll say, "Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. Take what you need." You go up the stairs, noshing on this little treat, and you get to Kierden's door. Kierden, let's get to you, and we'll have her knock on the door when you're ready. So,
Oh no, the door is wide open because Kierden forgot to close it. And when she looks in, she sees him laying face down on the bed with his left arm dangling off the side, still holding on to just barely holding on to it, but still holding on to the message stone.
Ophelia, how do you proceed?
I proceed. I'm gonna. How's he? Like prostrated on the bed? Is it like head over one side, feet over the other, or?
So he's laying down like normally, but it's on his stomach. I shouldn't say it's face first. His head is to the side so he can still breathe. But again, his left arm is hanging off the side of the bed, still holding on to the message stone.
Okay. Also, she's just gonna go over and poke him in the foot.
And he'll just
Wait, Kierden.
he's out.
She'll go over and poke him in the arm that's dangling off the bed. Because she fears, because she didn't know how long it's been hanging off the bed, but it's probably at that point of pins and needles.
Right.
That
Kierden.
when you poke it, it's going to be very uncomfortable.
Right. Kierden, as something is pulling you from the sweet relief of sleep, images flash into your head. A stadium, Hazel, Burns, defending her, Stonebrow, Kilvor, ancestry, economy, under the thumb of empire. And with a sudden flash of revelation anew, your body jolts.
I wake up, I like roll over, not realizing how close I am to the edge of the bed. I was out.
Ophelia, go ahead and make me a grace roll.
To avoid getting squished.
To avoid getting squished.
That is an 8.
You beat it by 2.
Yay.
So, Kierden, you see this happening. You know what it's like to sleep with cousins, have like a cousin sleepover. And when you are all in the same bed and someone rolls, someone gonna get squished. So you see that and go, nope. And he tumbles with a thud to the hardwood.
And he's sitting fully up at this point. He's like, the Dead Stone's waiting out of the Empire. It just comes tumbling out.
Right, first of all, what? And second of all, are you okay?
Ophelia, what are you doing in my room? What are you doing in my room? Why am I still in my message stone?
But I can't answer that one, but your door was open.
Okay, I haven't been that tired in a long time, apparently.
To be fair, it's been quite a day.
Yeah, you can say that again. No, I had a dream that was effectively just memory from childhood. The teacher was from Kael'vor, and she was talking about like the economics of this place. It was from when I was like 10, so this is like 15, 16 years ago, something like that. But no, Kelvor's been stuck under the thumb of the Empire for a long time, and they want out.
It's at this point that you hear some thunks behind you, Ophelia. Do you make any last comment to Círdan before someone approaches?
But I'm not certain what exactly to do with that information.
It means we need to find an alternative. It means we need to find an alternative to Deadstone, because that stuff is dangerous.
Got it.
But they think it's their only way out.
Got it.
What's their only way out? And at this point, Jeffrey has kind of nosed his way into the conversation, just peeking in from the doorway. Hi, sorry. I wanted to make sure that you were okay up here. You were quiet for some time, but with Ophelia talking and a loud thump, you're right above the kitchen. So just making sure things are good.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apparently I was out like a light.
Yes, so the thunk was you. Yes, you're on the floor. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I can only assume that Akiren is the one that gave it to me, but while I was sleeping, I had a vision, essentially just a memory from when I was a child. The teacher was from Kelvor, and she was teaching us about some of the economic trade that went on here in the city. And she mentioned that and this was 15, 16 years ago, but she mentioned that they'd grown tired of being subservient to the Empire and wanted a way out.
So that's all well and good, and we know the danger that comes with Deadstone, but you're saying that this memory is the key to some greater issue that the city has, some plot?
It's not the memory itself. The memory itself gave me direction. It made me recognize why they're pushing Deadstone so hard. They think Deadstone is their way out. But we need to find an alternative, because you and I think House Embermantle knows how dangerous it is. They're just not willing to admit it.
We do understand the danger. At least here we do. I wouldn't go so far as to say House Embermantle is trying to hide it, but I can understand where that would come from as well. There's a lot happening that's questionable. And I can't help but wonder if there isn't some way for us to follow up on these experiences. There's some key members here that are missing. And I think that he recently came into some influence in the town that I think we need to address. So either we find him now or we wait until the morning.
Given how I assume kings are typically treated, given that I grew up in a place that doesn't have them, I can only assume that it is late enough that they have ushered him off somewhere else, and Quarry will not be accessible to us for the time being. Do you think that's accurate?
It's hard to say, because we haven't had, for one, I haven't had close proximity to kings since Brule, when I was expelled. That said, many of the advisors, the closest circle of the king, were able to entreat with him and to request audience in the wee hours of the night. So it's possible that you could attempt it. I imagine that it would take some finagling to try and get in there, but you're the king's advisors. That's how they see you. That was my draw of the situation.
I imagine that, given how much I was out like a light, Corey's probably in much the same position.
Well, he certainly has a lot more to worry about now.
Yeah. And while not in quite the same capacity, I understand that worry, because I was in a high political position in my home.
Go find Quarry. And from there, I'll hold down the fort. If you so desire, I can ensure that your departure from here is kept need to know?
Good luck with that. When I was on my way here, people were staring at me. It was very awkward.
Okay, so news spreads fast. Right. If you do need a more private exit, we do have no other means of going out: a back door, side door, or a window. So you are just going to have to go through the front doors. I am sorry. Yeah, I kind of like the Temple of the God's Hands more than I like the Chapel of the God's Hands, and apologize for that. But they did have their entrances and exits. Yeah, I apologize. Let's at least get you out there. You guys are shepherded by Jeffrey as he walks down the stairs before you. And as he gets to the double doors, he kind of waves you on and says, "Best of luck. Derek's the door, please." Derek's reaches forward. Both of you go ahead and make me either senses or aware.
I got a 10 for aware.
10 for aware.
14 for aware.
14 for aware. You both cross through the double doors and enter into the frigid night. It's odd because you'd think that being near a volcano, you'd feel warmer, but you approach and start walking up the hill towards the Badgermole estate. What you don't see, as Jeffrey and Derek's close their respective door of the double doors of the Chapel of the God's Hands, as Jeffrey gives his friend a pat on the shoulder, "I'm heading to bed. Hold down the fort." Derek's kind of cocks his head a little bit in his estimation of humor. And as he watches Jeffrey retire through the kitchens into his quarters, Derek stands with his back towards the door, hands at his sides, head up, and his eyes give a slight flicker of purple. His green verdant eyes flicker purple. Cutting back to the Badgermole estate, you are then able to approach the massive obsidian marble doors that lead into the council chambers. You are then able to knock naturally. From what Jeffrey has told you, you were given permission. You're given access. So the doors swing open. You enter. They close behind you. There's no one at the doors. It either happens automatically or it happens magically. Someone has recognized your presence and has allowed you entrance. You are then greeted to a darkened council chamber. All 7 of the chairs of Kelvor, the leadership, stand before you. There is 2 torches over on a back hallway, kind of off center behind the House Badgermole throne. And you see coming up in silhouette and then emerging into the light is a dwarf that you recognize from Berglund. And this is Copper. Copper approaches. Right, so I appreciate your visit here. I thought that you had retired to a more comfortable allocation, but if you'd like to stay here with your friend, with the king, that can certainly be arranged. We have spare rooms for you and for any others that you would like to entertain here.
At the moment, we just need to speak to the king.
Yes, may I inquire as to what the nature of your discussion might be so I can prepare him?
Ophelia looks at Kieran.
I'll be honest with you, there's no preparing for it. There's a lot.
Well, with that kind of energy, frick, I'm losing the accent. With that kind of energy, we need to just continue on this kind of the vibe of the day, I imagine. So let's just go. Copper then walks you through. You go up a long hall, probably more than 100 paces deep. Take a left. You are now going into what would ultimately kind of prove like a side angle that runs parallel to the main shaft of the volcano, the vacancy of where that fire and flame is emitting constantly. You're then able to find quarters that are at the end of this hall. There's doors all along the left-hand side of the hall, which tracks because if you go any further to the right, you might deal with further volcanic debris and weakened rock. But everything's on the left, and it looks like this side's been fortified. You walk all the way down to the end where there's a single double door, again, at the end of the hall. Massive door, almost as big as the one outside. This hall in and of itself kind of carries that same Art Deco, lots of triangles, which are actually structurally one of the strongest elements of engineering. And you realize that the Art Deco style is this way because it's designed for building. It's designed to sustain heavy weight, and working in stone, that is essential to prevent cave-ins. Now, you get to the doors, he knocks, opens. Sire, now your advisors have arrived. Sire.
Huh?
Go ahead and go on in. You know him better than I do. And he's like, I don't want to piss off the new king. I don't know what this is. I don't know what a king's supposed to do. I'm just going along for the ride. So you guys go in and you talk things over. He kind of shoves you in and closes the door behind. Do you wait to hear if he's walked away?
Yeah.
Ophelia will put her ear to the door.
He has not moved. There's no footsteps.
Kieran will look to her to see what the verdict is. All right, then, and he'll just pull the silence spell that.
Yeah, Ophelia was gonna
Just
do that.
Nice. For
The green
someone
symbol
whose
here for the
main
door.
elemental affinity is lightning, you have a very intimate relationship with thunder. And as you bring your hands together and slap them together, instead of that clap of your hands, you hear the puffing away of all sound outside of this place. In fact, as you step forward, your first step doesn't even scratch off of the floor. You don't hear it. Once you pass where the spell was initiated and then sent into the place, that's when you hear your steps return.
Firestorm starts snoring loudly.
Kieran, how much mana does that one take again? I'm trying to remember.
I'll just call that 2 mana. Easy.
Okay.
2 of the
Let
manas.
me actually mark that on my sheet.
Perfect. Thank you. That is exactly what it is used for. As we get into this interaction, I did ask each of you to provide me some idea of what virtue or vice you wanted to utilize in order to gain experience in the game. So far, what you can do for each scene, each location, each interaction that we have, you can gain XP to build your character. But you need to declare, I want to stick with my virtue. I want to stick with my vice. I want to test my vice or virtue. That's how you volunteer and let Karma know, okay, he's trying to get experience. And that's going to enable me, Karma, or whoever's hosting the game, to then interact with that and respond to that in the narrative. So it's simultaneously giving you the ability to progress as a character, and it's giving him or her the ability to demonstrate the story responding to your choices. Make sense? So, Micah, I actually need you to text me of those lists that I sent. Text me whether or not you're going to choose a virtue or a vice.
Well, famously, I don't have any vices.
Famously. Which
Right.
virtue do you think that he would most associate with?
Can we only choose like the ones that you gave?
Out of that list, yes. It's a working list. It's probably going to be adjusted as we get some programming done, but for now, that's where it stands.
Probably. This is gonna be so funny, but it's true. His virtue and his vice are humble and proud.
Interesting.
It you know, given the way that he's acted throughout the entirety of the campaign, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. Kind of like Kieran's is patience and obstinance.
To test out the mechanics here, I already have Ophelia and Kieran both with programs of a virtue and a vice. I'd like to see how the game plays if you only have one or the other as well. So, Quarry, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to see you choose humble or proud.
It just really depends. Is he the Firestorm or is he Quarry?
I think what you might, if I may, just to clarify, are you struggling with the idea that this is associated with what mood he's in or what identity he's trying to portray?
No, it's both.
Okay. I will argue that you can gain experience with acting humble in certain situations and acting proud in certain situations. The difference is tone and how you act, how you say, I'm going to act on my pride. When you do that, I'm going to roll with you. The next roll that we make as I set the scene is going to mean that if you're acting proud, by staying true to that, you're going to earn an XP. By breaking with that, you're going to earn an XP. So because that's kind of a dichotomy of humility and pride, it kind of serves you either way. The difference is whether or not it is a vice you have to break from or a virtue that you have to maintain, because the world will see you differently depending on how you proceed.
Okay. So, am I choosing one right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, amongst friends and stuff, they know me well. I think I'm definitely going to be more humble.
Okay. I think we're going to make that assignment then. You have a virtue focus, and it is humble. That means that if you break with that, you just let me know, I want to break from my humility. And that's me. Oh, that's a signal. You're going to get XP based off of how well this goes. Make sense?
Right.
Okay. So in speaking with your friends, you're seeking to be humble. You're woken up in the middle of a dead sleep, just like Kieran, and you all finally come together for a moment of respite and a moment of conversation. Who starts this? What does that look like?
I'm still asleep.
For waking him up, it starts with Ophelia's just gonna kind of kick him in the leg.
Nothing.
Kieran at that point was, and because he knows he has something to do, I'm going to break with my virtue of patience. I'm going to be obstinate, and I'm just going to grab his shoulder and flip him over in the chair.
Oh no! Go ahead and roll me a brawn, and Corey, if you'd like, I'll give you the choice to fight it or not.
No, definitely not.
Great, crit. How does Kieran throw this man? How does he land?
So I'm not trying to like lob him out of the chair. I'm just trying to
sure.
flip him over because he's face down in it, and part of me is like, okay, he's not gonna be able to breathe for very much longer, but also this is going to be the easiest way to just get him to wake up. And so it's just reaching under, grabbing far enough into his shoulder that it wouldn't hurt him, but also not far enough that it would hinder my ability to
shoulder plate. You mean?
No. So like he's laying down
underneath his shoulder. Got it.
He's face down. I'm reaching like around his arm onto his shoulder to flip him.
Yeah,
so far enough that I've got a good grip, but close enough that it doesn't hinder the grip.
Got it.
And I just
goes a tumbling. Corey, would you say you're awake?
He's going to open his eyes suddenly, and he's going to be like, oh, hey guys, how's it going? And he's like very confused as to why they're upside down, but he's not going to say anything about it.
and Kieran just hands on his nose, just like, or fingers on his nose, like, just, were you even asleep, or were you just ignoring the world?
Huh?
Did you hear how loud he was snoring? He was definitely asleep.
He's a dwarf. That's how they breathe half the time.
I mean, good point, but
he's like, no, it's not.
I've had a revelation. That's part of the reason why we're here.
All right.
So, for starters, I'm going to preface this with, we know how dangerous Deadstone is.
All right. I mean, it seemed pretty dangerous before.
I think that House Ambermantle is viewing Deadstone as a way to get Kael'vor out from under the thumb of the Empire.
Ah,
I had a memory that was sparked. I had a teacher who was from Kael'vor years and years ago, who talked about how the Stonebrow people were kind of tired of being subservient to Brule. They didn't really see that they had a way out, but also that the relationship between Kael'vor and Brule, at least at the beginning, was famously good. And then I also remembered what's going on with Ophelia's family and the why do I fail to remember the name of your brewery? The Barcolo Brewery. The Empire's imposing insane taxes on them right now that they can't meet because the Empire is trying to take over Beargland. And that's the first step. We need to find a way to help Kael'vor become independent from the Empire, but also in a way that's not going to blow up the world in the process.
okay.
Fixing their agriculture issues might be a start.
Yeah, no, it's all.
They charge like 30 gold for an apple that is half the size of what it should be.
That should be illegal. He's gonna start like apples not 30 gold with his signature.
Kieran's just like, that's not going to fix the scarcity issue. It's just going to make it worse. We need to find a solution that will naturally bring the prices down. Problem is, you live in a volcano.
Like,
and it's winter.
Ophelia, you've got nature and magic. I've seen you grow plants before. Can we do something like that in Moss?
I mean, I've never tried that. And also, I think my magic might be slightly broken right now.
Okay, that's concerning.
It.
But we that's not the point. We need something sustainable. And as much as I'd love to say that we could just try and institute trade with the Amaris Cove, I haven't seen any ports, number one. Number two, the amount of time that it would take a ship to get here, all the produce would have spoiled. Unless the Amaris Cove has figured out a way to transport it, and I just have been unaware of it because I've been too stuck in the political games.
Firestorm starts to cry a little bit. He goes like...
But it's just that moment of realization of like, the Amaris Cove, the entire city's grid and system of functioning is based on the etheric net. They must have figured out a way to keep produce fresh over long voyages.
Could you give him a call?
Yeah, I can actually. Sidebar. Would using the message stone break the silence spell? Or will it be able to transmit out with that spell active or no?
The way that message stones work is it is a transference of vibration, essentially. It also allows a subconscious depiction of the person on the other line acting and speaking in real time. But it's just their face, it's just their visage. It's not like you can see their full body hologram in your mind's eye. It's just their face, as if they're speaking to you in a comfortable distance in front of you. The difference here is because you're in the area of silence outside of you, cannot hear what you're doing. But because you're in that spell, the vibration of your voice and the sound of your voice would still carry to the stone, so it wouldn't be affected. The challenge would be burnout. You are spending mana to keep the spell up. It's 1 mana. I'd argue every minute or so. So it's kind of a diffusal over time. You're kind of regenerating it as you're spending it. Mm-hmm. If you were to use the message stone, it's not necessarily a draw on your magic, but it is a focus. And you'd be focusing on 2 things simultaneously, which I would imagine would be more costly to you.
Okay. I'll look at Ophelia and I'll just go, okay. I'm probably not going to be able to focus on two things at once, which is funny given that, and he'll just like go water and lightning. But I can send a message to the Mayor's Cove. I can see what we can do about working out a deal.
That's fine. We can do that later. Listen, I think we need to talk about what our priority is right now. We're kind of getting stuck in the weeds here, getting lost in the forest. Our number one, well, listen, I'm a king. I've got a duty to my people now. But I think the number one duty, even as a king, we've got to take care of this dark god business. We know they're festering here.
Yeah, but that is, in fact, related to my current issue of my magic being slightly broken.
Okay, listen, Ophelia. What is going on here?
Right, so after I was sort of ushered out of the room, I was just walking up down the hall, trying to figure out where to go from here, and I'm trying to remember how that whole.
As you tried to interact with the ring, you had like worked with it, touched it. It shocked you and burned. You literally branded you.
Yeah, right. So I was walking up and down the hall. All of a sudden, this, and she takes off the ring and holds it up, starts burning. Like it felt like someone had held it in the hearth for a minute. It was burning. I've still got the imprint of there's writing on the inside of the thing apparently, and I just still got it's still embedded into my finger.
So you saw some kind of elvish.
No, it's not elvish. It's two bees, but actually, it's a bit like a butterfly. No, not thinking of it. Anyway, getting sidetracked.
Micah, take an experience point.
I was trying to keep with the role play, and
I know you did so good, but I had to reward that. That was awesome.
I couldn't keep with it. That's why I muted myself.
Yep.
So I reached out to Bartholomew, like, hey, what was that? And he wasn't the one who answered. It was Fleet and Torin who answered.
Oh! Okay, did you kill him?
No.
Why not? Can I kill him?
I mean, you're more than welcome to try. That would be very helpful for all of our situations, I'm sure.
I've done it before.
But yeah, apparently he was able to hijack the power of the ring.
Aha.
And so I tried to do magic, just conjure vine. I think I've done a million times since the start of this thing. I've done a million times since getting this ring. And it came out thorny, brambly, like very dead looking instead of like an actual vine.
So it's kind of like it's possessed?
More like corrupted.
Can we talk to Jeffrey about it?
Well, I was going to tell him about it, but then I was trying to think, okay, how many times do I need to tell the story?
Right.
So I figured, just be best to say it when everyone's gathered. But you're over here, he's over there, so it seems I'm going to have to tell the story twice anyway.
Well, we need to get that Dark Torin out of your ring. That's messed up.
Actually, I can't say that I'm very certain that he's not in here anymore, because I don't know what's what anymore.
Ain't that the truth?
Corey, go ahead and roll me a will roll.
That is an 11.
In the course of your time as king, very short time, you realized one of the major plays that was made had to do with politics. It's not a skill you have, but politics in the game of making sure power cycles through leadership, and that leadership is done effectively and respectfully so that people, it's not even that you're trying to not step on toes, it's that you're trying to act in a way that leads. You're acting in a way that creates leadership, power, structure, direction. And those things, I don't know if those things compute to your brain right now. You've always been a soldier. You've always been a follower. But one of the things that sticks out to your brain in the course of all these different priorities that are bouncing around, Círdan was smart enough to state, oh, yeah, we've got proof that he is who he says he is. We know he is who he is, and we proved it with the armor. One of the things that your will roll is intended to do is to align with the will to protect your people. And I think that it's not even a matter of intelligence at this point. It's the fact that you're so passionate about helping your people get back on their feet that this thought comes to your head almost freely, unbidden. But that you still have to prove your bloodline. That's, if there was any bigger priority than the Dark Tauren, I'm not going to say that proving your kingship is that. That's kind of a big deal, right? But not being king at this time, in this place, could yield some really poor side effects if you somehow lose the throne for a technicality.
He's going to say, you know, there could be some really bad side effects to all of this if I lose the throne on a technicality.
So we need further proof that you are the rightful heir. Wonderful.
You got any ideas?
We could go talk to the lady at the library again.
He just had the weirdest idea, and he didn't think about it his whole time here because so much has been going on. But he's like, what if we go to my old house? I used to live here.
What are the odds that your old house has been occupied by someone else for 70 years?
Well, they were badger moles, my parents. I imagine, if anything, there could be like some kind of protection, letting it be how it was. To be fair, I don't even know what happened to my parents. They were fine when I disappeared.
You know,
so like your house is possibly some kind of protected landmark or something.
Maybe?
It's as good of a lead as any, as we've got, I guess.
Yeah, it's a start.
Now, as we tee this up, is this something that you want to do right now or with a full night's rest?
Going the opposite direction, Círdan is actually going to use his virtue of patience. Just go, we've had a long day. Both you and I have been woken up in the middle of trying to sleep. I think this is something that can wait until tomorrow.
Listen, it's been 70 years. Really, it's been like 84 years or something like that since I've been here, so you know it's...
Yes, and it's dark outside, and people, even though you are technically king right now, will still find it suspicious.
That's fair.
Like, we had to put up big hoods and cloaks to just walk here, and...
That's not suspicious.
You're right, it was suspicious. But we've got eyes on us because of our association with you. And you've got eyes on... And there's eyes on you because you're the new king. We need to be careful.
You know, I always feel like somebody's watching me. I got no privacy.
Why do you think I put up the zone of silence?
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
You're on a roll, dude. I only got 1 XP to give you when you make a clever reference, okay? That goes for all of you. You get 3. You only get 1 at a time. Gosh. Okay.
I mean, literally the same energy as, granted, like a year and a half ago when I pulled the I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
So all these thoughts in mind, with the exhaustion resting over you, I'm going to give you guys the ability to spend the night, probably in one of the other quarters. These have mattresses, so you can sleep well. And funny enough, they each have their own smaller hearth. You notice pointedly that these have a more manageable sized hearth, where it's much more of a statement piece to have this massive fireplace in the king's quarters. Go ahead and roll me probably brawn. I'm not going to say it's going to be super difficult. Oh, yeah, not at all.
Well, I got a 3 because I rolled a 1.
I got a 12.
I got
Okay.
a 7.
Tired boy.
Corey, you have your mana completely restored. Your health is back to full. Kieran,
It
same with
already
you.
was.
Ophelia, same with you. Each of you gets an experience point to take from that scene. That was very well done. Ophelia, I will say, please remember to declare your intent for staying true to or breaking from your virtues or vices. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. That's just the easiest way for me to catch, oh, she's going for an experience point, and then to kind of track how that will affect you moving forward. Great. You're able to dispel the cone of silence, dispel the zone of silence, whatever you want to call it. You go to your quarters, you drop down, you're out. No dreams come to you.
I do want to add one thing as I'm walking
Sure.
over to my quarters. After the zone of silence is dropped, I am very careful to like whisper it into the stone because I know there are prying eyes and ears,
Mhm.
but I don't want to risk another zone of silence. But once I'm in my quarters, I pull out the message stone and I whisper to it, Lady Lyriel of the Twin Light, just as the broadcast of who I'm sending it to. I have a request. I don't know exactly how we're going to go about it, but there's trouble in Kael'vor, and they are looking for a way out, specifically economically. I want to figure out if there's a way that we can establish good trade between Kael'vor and the Amaris Cove to help with that. And our friend the Firestorm turns out was the heir to the Badger Mole throne, so he is currently King of Kael'vor.
For now.
And tack on at the end, don't worry, he's not associated with those Badger Moles that have been a pain for the Amaris Cove.
I
That
mean,
was a very important tack on right there.
kind of am. I mean, they're associated with me.
They're really not, though. They're a bunch of dickheads that are blowing stuff up because they want to take everything. You have a legitimate claim to like the family head of what is royalty. There's a
That
big
brings up a
difference.
good point. I should send out some kind of decree to those guys and tell them to freaking chill.
You can do that. You can do that.
I'm absolutely gonna do that.
Do you do that like first thing when your head pops off the pillow? Like,
I do that as soon as Kieran reminds me that that's a thing.
But yeah, it's just a very clean, concise message. But it's also one of those. I don't know what Kael'vor has to offer right now. I'm trying to figure that out, but I do want to know if there is even a possibility of trade with Kael'vor.
considering that they are on the other side of the world, well, other side of the continent, it's maybe an hour past dark for you, and you've slept for pretty much a few hours before woken up, come over to this place and are going back to sleep.
Yeah,
It's
we're
still
in the
dark
west.
where they're at.
Well, no, we're in the west. They're in the east.
Correct. They would be
no,
getting
they
closer
are-
to dawn, but it's still pretty
they
much
are ahead.
twilight.
Yeah, no, they are ahead. They are ahead. I got my time zones mixed up.
I got you.
Dale, Dale,
Yeah,
it bothers me that you don't know what twilight is.
never mind. It's pre-dawn. Okay.
Twilight is that moment before it's nighttime when the sun has gone down. There's neither night nor day.
Then I
So-
now understand Twilight Princess so much better.
Yes.
Why
but
is
yeah,
it dark
like,
outside?
Kieran recognizes how late it is, and he recognizes what time it is for them. He knows that he's not going to get a response anytime soon, but he needed to send the message before he forgot.
Right. So knowing that the message has been sent, you'll probably get a reply at some later time.
Heck, he's not even expecting an answer for a couple of days, just because he knows how
That's
things go in the Amaris Cove. But he like it's one of those 50-50s because he's had a splendid relationship with Lady Lyriel the entire time that he'd been Lightning Rod, so he knows that she responds quickly to him, but the nature of this one is much more delicate.
Right. Knowing that you have a great night's sleep, even considering you've gotten that off your chest, off of your brain, that helps. So as you awake the next day, I imagine you could remind you remind Quarry. I almost called you the Badger Mole. You remind him that there is a need to address the Badger Mole gang. If that's something that you choose to do right now, or if you choose to pursue the homestead, the home place for Quarry Badger Mole.
Probably while we're walking there, he'll go like, "Oh, hey, I know you're not associated with those badger moles, but do you think you might be able to rein them in, given that it seems like half their purpose was reinstating King Badger Mole?"
In my head, it's like we're eating breakfast and Firestorm's having like Cheerios, and he looks up with Cheerios like plastered on his mouth to Kieran when he says that. Like, oh shoot, I didn't realize you could do that.
I mean, they took your name. At the very least, if they're not willing to listen to you, you can very much throw out these are not true badger moles. They're not affiliated with my house whatsoever, and if they continue to act in accordance with my name, there will be swift consequence.
Yeah.
Copper somehow appears at your elbow, Quarry, and says, "Would you like me to put that down as a formal edict, sire?"
Well, there's this weird thing where it's like they're patriots, but also they've been bad boys. So it's
True.
like,
I mean, they blew up part of my town. Like,
That's-
I'm not the biggest fan of them.
listen, they can be happy that I'm back in prison. That's a good point.
Okay.
I-
I'm going to let you guys do this together. Ophelia, Kieran, and Quarry. You each have the ability to contribute to the success of this roll. What I'm going to offer here, you are going to wager. Let's do it this way. On the low end, the difficulty is going to be a D8. On the high end, the difficulty is going to be a D12. The number that I get for top, or for the bottom end and for the top end, D8 and D12, that's going to be your range. If you undercut that number, it's not going to be forceful enough. If you overcut that number, it's going to be too strong. The tone of your message and how it was written. So the numbers that we're looking for, holy crap.
Uh-huh.
You guys are each going to roll.
Uh-huh.
You can choose to roll with a modifier or to adjust your result by your modifier. So taking away the result or increasing the result. Each of you has a chance to help contribute to this, but the range you're looking for is between a 5 and a 7. So take that for what you will. You can use the modifier for any of your mind stats, your mind traits, to influence that, or your soul traits being will. Awareness would also contribute to this as well, I think.
Okay, hold on. What are we doing?
So right now you're trying to get between a 5 and a 7. You all have a D10, meaning that you could overshoot this and come off too strong. Oh, excuse me. Or you could undercut it and come off as weak and passive. You guys have 3 chances, one for each of you, to roll a 5, a 6, or a 7. Okay?
6, 7.
As you're doing that, you can use your modifiers to adjust your number, but it's not incremental. Okay? It's 1 or nothing. Add to or remove your modifier of choice. So you have to be selective with how you do this. But what you contribute to this is going to affect how well it comes across. If I had to be, how this plays out is going to determine how well the Badger Mole insurgency and threat is going to progress in the story. If you nail this, the Badger Moles could well be neutralized.
Well, I'll start with the will to not be overboard.
Okay.
And
Roll
I
your
got a
D10.
6. I
You
got
got
a 6.
a 6 on the die.
No, I got a 6 total because I rolled a 2 and I added my 4 willpower to it.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Ophelia, what did you roll?
I also added my will. I rolled a 4, which brings my total up to a 7.
Excellent. And Quarry.
I also rolled a 2. But I'm using my brawn because I'm the Badger Mole. And that's a 7.
That's crazy. Okay. Awesome. You guys successfully worked together to craft a very well written, very persuasive, and not too sharp, not too passive edict to go throughout the enther city.
I feel
And-
myself getting
and
really
you
sharp.
better
I'm like,
do
no,
it.
no, rein that in.
Yep.
Rein that in. This is not about personal feelings about how much of a douchebag they are.
Corey, what were you saying?
Like, it's a very well worded letter, very informative, and then at the end it says, "And you better do it too because I'm the King Badger Mole."
Okay. This is giving me Hank Hill vibes. What do we do if they want theirs well done? We ask them firmly but politely to leave.
All right.
This letter, this edict, is firm but polite.
As you hand that off to Copper, he bows graciously and presses what, for the first time, you realize he's wearing a new piece of jewelry. It's a large ring, and you realize it is a signet ring that he has left a larger version on the table next to your plate before you even arrived at breakfast. He presses his down as an emissary of House Badger Mole. And then when it comes away, it shows a Badger Mole kind of up with its claws in the air. And that's, no one has seen that edict in 70 years. No one has seen that crest in 70 years on an official documentation.
Quarry looks at it and, like, I think not for the first time, but in a while he makes the connection that that's an animal, and he's like, huh.
The thing is like that mark is very familiar to you, Corey.
Yes.
And
saw it
it's
last
something
year. Well,
it's something
last
that
year.
you would have seen throughout your life.
Yeah, that's part of why it's like, huh, because like I forgot that was like a thing.
So
It's like for me in real life, where like my last name is Weiss, but I forget that actually means white in German. So when I see it in action, it's like, oh yeah.
yeah. As you finish your breakfast, I imagine it's a king's feast, literally. You're then able to get dressed. Do you go dressed in like regalia? Do you go dressed in armor? Do you dress more stealthily? How do you want to go about this? You're in the middle of the day in the winter, so light is going to be an issue.
This is not
Only
even a
when the
thought.
sun
This-
comes up. Go ahead.
This is I'm dressed exactly as I dress every single day.
Armor.
Armor,
Great.
baby.
Okay. How about the rest of you guys? What do you think?
is wearing her cloak because it's winter, it's cold.
Great.
Kieran has still been in his traveling garb, but he's stripped down some of it so that it doesn't appear as bulky, but enough that it still looks official and nice. He has intentionally hidden his gauntlets and his shoulder plates underneath the coat, though, even though he still does have his shield slung to his back and his sword at his side.
Got it. You're then able to go out onto the street, and Quarry, for the first time in years for you and decades for everyone else, you are going to pursue your home. Now, based off of what I understand, what I've developed of the city, badger moles existed throughout the town. But much like families do, they kind of congregate. Different family groups will stay in one general location. And I would imagine that you would have spent a lot of time near the Ironroot clan farms. There was something within your family line that dealt with medicinal quality and growing herbal things. Patches would have been a fantastic cross connection between the two houses, between those two neighborhoods, if you want to call it that.
Patches was a Willow Fall. That was his surname.
As you approach, you actually see some of those willow voles. Willow Vole or Willow Vale?
Fall, like
Willow
F-A-L.
Fall, thank you. You pass a few Willow Fall homes, or what you thought they were. They've been updated. It looks like they might have had some like seasonal or like disaster damage, like from a fire of some kind. And that's par for the course. You know, some homes burn. This isn't necessarily close to a kiln of any kind, but you know at least that things have been kept up to date. And that might lead to a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Your house, your home, is it still standing? And as you near, this city has farms within city limits, but it is tightly packed because of that. Space is limited. And to be within the safety of the city, you kind of need to maximize how much space is in one place. So while the Amorous Cove felt like wide open streets in a tightly packed city was kind of a juxtaposition, this just feels like everything is crowded, especially with how fast the city has grown. This area is one of the oldest places in town, based off of the new construction that's gone outwards from the city. Neighborhoods you didn't even know existed, that never existed when you were a kid, and even as you left for the military. You come down the winding roads. This town doesn't even need street names. There's landmarks that kind of denote very clearly where you are in town. People would say go to the Watered Hands if you're looking to go talk to House Ironroot, because there's literally a sculpture with a spring, hands that have been carved out of the mountainside with a spring flowing over those hands. And that's how they would describe their directions. In your case, you always, what kind of feature, what kind of landmark do you think you would give to people, or your mom and dad would teach you to give to people when they asked for your home address? What landmark would you give them to denote where your house was?
So it was the one with the house was the one with the sapphire and ruby flowers out in front, which normally in the real world would be like, what? That's crazy. But here in the city, they're like actual normal flowers.
Absolutely. You're able to approach a cottage. Modest. You were the only kid. Your parents never needed to expand, and they never had any more children. They've always had people in their home, nieces, nephews, cousins, aunts, uncles that have always been there to support each other, right?
So many cousins.
So many cousins. The house looks like the buildings outside of town looked like a proud athlete posing. This looks like a retired athlete on his last legs. It's kind of sunken down with time.
Michael Jordan. Oh.
The thatch roof has moldered in spots. Like like hay would deteriorate fast, but it seems like very recently it's been out of service, out of care. The windows are still intact, so no one has come through looting or stealing anything. And those ruby and sapphire flowers in the front. Go ahead and roll me a luck check. I'm going to roll a d10, you're going to roll a d10, and we're going to see who has the higher result.
I need you to roll my d10 for me. I'm holding a baby and giving them milk.
I got you. As you approach, you never had a graded fence in front of your house, but you see this iron wrought fence that goes at a low, almost like at your knees, goes around the entire property now. And you're looking for those roses. You're looking for those sapphires, those rubies.
Blue flower, red thorn.
And at first you don't see anything. It's dirt. It's dead. Moldered, snow-covered. And then as a breeze kicks up, you see a bulb. Almost as if that rose-shaped flower that's just ruby had wilted over, and somehow it's still fresh. That glinting ruby petal. As the snow gets blown away, you see the sun glint off it for just a second as the clouds part. And you realize this is home. So you look up to this place. There's a single door in the front. There's 2 windows, one on either side of the door, kind of in different wings. And there's a second story with a single window up on that floor. Thatch roof. It's got like your... The frame is hardwood, right? A deep, rich, almost like mahogany. And it's got this plaster along the sides that are both insulation against the cold and against the heat during the summer. The chimney is empty. No smoke, no heat, no signs of life. It's dark inside. As you approach the front door, it's not just unlocked, there's no doorknob. It's been broken off the door. Ophelia and Kieran, I want you to roll an awareness roll. And Corey, I want you to tell me right now, what are your feelings knowing the last time you saw your parents, they were alive. And 70 years later, you might not have come to terms with whether or not they've passed. But what I want to ask is, do you think that they, knowing that the door has been broken into, do your thoughts drift to, am I about to see a crime scene?
I think for a split second he thinks that, but he knows that his family was like beloved in the neighborhood. Like their place was the place, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't think there would be any kind of crime scene that wouldn't be investigated promptly. And seeing as how it's been like over 70 years since his disappearance, he knows he's not going to find like any bodies or in there.
Right.
Like his parents would definitely be sepulchered somewhere.
Yeah. You push the front door. Go ahead.
I got a 13, just so that you're aware.
13.
Said aware.
And Ophelia?
You said aware, right? So that is a 13 for me.
13 and 13.
Yeah.
Micah, I'm going to roll your D10 for you. You tell me what your will is.
It's 4 or 5.
You beat both of them.
Nice.
So that initial panic of, am I about to encounter a crime scene before you relax, it's lost on them. But they can still pick up your unease. And as you push into the front door, your big hand pushes against the door. You're not going to freaking go gallivanting into the room. This is a sacred place to you now. And I'm not even sure that you recognize it. You step inside. You look around. It's dark. And there's something wrong with that. This place used to be full of sounds, full of light, full of warmth, full of smells of baked bread, of smoked meat, of vegetable stew, of home. What can you... There's no furniture anymore. In fact, the only furniture that you could claim to be furniture was actually built into the walls as shelving. And there's layers of dust on these shelves. There wasn't really a big hearth in this place. But as small as this hearth was, it warmed the entire house on the coldest nights. Kieran and Ophelia, I'd like for you to ask me a question about this house. And then, Micah, if you'd like to, you can volunteer your thoughts on what the house looks like or how things were laid out.
Sure.
And I can riff off of that with you to kind of give them a picture of what this was like. But Ophelia and Kieran, what kind of questions would you ask him about his family, about his home in this environment? It's still dark in here.
Honestly, if it's still very dark, Ophelia would start looking for windows and start opening them like before asking any kind of questions.
The
You
only
can-
real windows you'd find are at the front of the house, because it's a very in-line home. So like you open up the door, front room, living room, whatever, you go through. It's almost like a long hallway. With, like,
Gotcha.
So it's like living room, then kitchen, then back room, with like the dining table, and on the sides are like the bedrooms.
Kieran, seeing that and knowing that he has done this before, he goes, well, how about a little bit of light? And he will do it differently than he did before. He will put his hands together, and when he pulls them apart, there is a sphere of water that has a condensed ball of lightning in it. So the water is effectively projecting the light. Sorry, that was about
Excellent reflexes.
Thank you. But yeah, so he formed the ball of water in such a way that it would project the light from the lightning better than if he just had the ball of lightning there. And he just kind of hovers it up to the middle of the room, still concentrating on it.
You're used to seeing this place tinted red with the warmth of a hearth, Corey. And as you see dancing and swirling lights like the reflections off of a pool, of an indoor pool, it feels alien, and yet the light feels better than it was before, I would imagine. Ophelia, you're able to open up those side windows. The blinds, literally, go ahead and roll me a body roll. You choose Brawn or Grace.
It very much depends on what I'm working with, because I'm going to have to be adaptable.
These curtains look so fragile.
Okay. So yes, we are going to go Grace then.
Okay.
And thank goodness that was an 8. That makes it a 10 total.
The best part is you weren't actually trying to beat the number. You were trying to go beneath it. You reach up and try and pull these blinds to the side, and the frame, the metal frame that holds these blinds in place, literally clacks, and the entire apparatus comes off of the first window, clattering to the ground. Firestorm, do you jump at that sound, or are you just kind of resigned to the fact that the house is truly empty?
Definitely kind of jump at the sound.
Ophelia also jumps, and specifically jumps out of the way so she doesn't get clobbered by the falling curtain rod.
Your Grace totally allows for that.
Firestorm's room was off to the side, to the left of the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of back to the back of the house, It was the first one on the left in the dining room. So past the front room and kitchen. And he goes in there to just kind of look, but that's not his destination. He's gonna look and see like where his bed used to be. And like kind of peek into his closet, which wasn't very big, but it was a tiny little. It was walk-in, but barely, you know. Doesn't really see anything, but he knows that in his parents' bedroom, they, like any good parents who were poor and loved their families, he knew of a hidden area of where they kept like important legal documents. The strong box, you know, as it were.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that while kind of strolling through here, he's gonna, you know, we're here for a reason. Let's go find it. So he's gonna go in that direction.
The house is cold. Even with the dancing lights that bring some familiarity and some life, the life that's brought here feels foreign. And I don't know if it's an unease that comes to you, if it's an anger that comes to you. It just feels like the last time you saw your parents was on good terms, but the rituals that you had when you came back home after a long trip, after a day, after hanging out with friends, they're gone. In fact, you might have expected to experience something in the back of your mind, and as you walked through the house, you realized, oh, I didn't actually get my parents to do that for me when I first walked up to the door like they used to. And you go to their room. There was always that one floorboard. It was right under their bed. And of course, there's nothing in this house, no furniture. What's left might be crumbs, dead bugs, and old pieces of cloth. But this floorboard is the thing that you always knew. And it was in that same place, in the middle of their bed, underneath their bed. You found it by accident. You're playing hide and seek. Your parents told you, oh, we can't hide underneath the bed. Can't hide underneath the bed. And as you grew older, you asked why, you learned, and now you reach down, you lift up the board. What would it mean to Quarry if there was nothing in that strongbox?
I think two things. One, it would be annoying because that's what we're here for, and we'd have to find another way if it wasn't there.
Right.
But two, some kind of relief because it would mean that his parents probably were either moved or evacuated and not murdered there. Their lives didn't end there.
Yeah. You have these images, these thoughts maybe of the Badgermole house going under attack, under siege almost, with prejudice. And with so many people close to you, so many individual families and cousins that were so close to these two people. And you know their names. Brom Badgermole is your father. And you see that his name was carved really poorly into this strongbox, this metal strongbox. Your mother's name was carved much more eloquently. And that was both in combination because your dad was kind of impulsive and, oh, I've got a strongbox, babe. I've got a strongbox. Come here. Let's put all our documents. We can put all of our safe stuff. If we have any, like, oh, we can put like an extra knife in there in case we need to defend ourselves at night in an emergency. Maybe we have a will. Maybe we have like, all those things, right? And she, being the non-impulsive one, he's trying to stake a name for himself. She's the one that takes it to a smithy and says, would you please carve our family's names into this? And you see, there was a time when she and her husband were very diligent in how they approached the care of the family, but they've always cared for you. They always cared for you. So when you see your name, maybe carved with a different tool, it's a little wider, the etchings are, you realize that they were updating their life with you. You've always been a part of them. And they treated you like it. This box feels heavy. And maybe that's because there's a metal box in your hands, or maybe that's because something's inside. There's no lock on it anymore. Do you open it?
Yes, I do.
With a great effort, even considering your strength, this has rusted quite a bit. And actually, roll me brawn. Actually, I'm going to roll you brawn.
Yeah, if you would.
Brawn is 5.
Yes.
You snap up both of the hinges. Okay. This heirloom box shatters in your hands. 2 halves are now there. 3 pieces of paper fall.
Oof.
The first one is a drawing. You recognize the drawing. It's your version of this icon of an animal that you don't know what it is. It's got its claws up like this. Your version of this thing is done with charcoal and like paints that your parents made. The paint has faded, it's cracked, but it's still legible. And I think that part of the thing that's most intriguing to you is that it's kept so well. This box did what it was supposed to do, even considering the time. I'm going to mute you for just 1 second, okay? Okay. I'm going to explain this cinematic, and I think we'll call it good so that you can get to family time, all right? The second piece of paper is a will. It wills the property in which you stand to you. It wills a very small savings to you. You just came into thousands of gold pieces of wealth in a day. You could spend 1,000 gold pieces and still have coffers to spend. Your parents are offering you 1,000 gold pieces in savings and the rights, the deed to this home. It's what they could afford. And as Hayden and Ophelia peer in, step into the room, the final piece of paper on the ground is face down. You reach down, pick it up, and look at the other side. You have a genealogy proving that Corey Badgermole is a direct descendant of Obsidian Badgermole.
The first King Badgermole, correct?
As you are settling in on this, I want each of you to make a senses roll. Micah, I'm going to roll that for you. I think your senses... Sorry, I'm going to unmute you, bud. If you could look at your list, what is your modifier for senses?
Okay, my modifier for les senses.
Les senses?
3.
3. You have a 12.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's pretty neat. Great. So, Kieran, what did you roll? Ophelia's 2. Sorry.
I got 9.
9. Okay.
9.
13.
You all crit.
We're all very sensitive, okay?
It's so emotional.
We're all mourning.
You and each of you hear the sound of shattering glass and the whoosh of flame as a rush of bright red light comes from the hallway. Corey, your pulse is immediately in your throat and in your forearms. You dash over to the hallway, you look up at the front door, and you realize someone has thrown a bottle of alcohol with a line of cloth on fire. It shattered across the floor and is now burning the interior of your home.
Oh, hell no. First of all, okay, yeah. Do you have a thing that you want to say, Dale?
I do. That's where we're going to end the episode.
Oh my gosh.
Rude, because there are two people who can handle this immediately. Quarry, who can just go and suck it up, and me, who can just go.
right.
That is
Sploosh.
literally what I was gonna do. I was gonna suck it up, and then I was going to thunder jump or lightning jump right to outside the window it came from.
I want you guys to think about how that's going to work. Combat is what we're going to be testing in our next one, okay? Especially with how we deal with our virtues and vices. Now, considering the scenes that we did, I know that we specified, we really honed in on that one scene. Everyone got an experience point with that scene. Considering the work that we put in, considering the role play that we did, considering the fun that we had, I'd still like to give everyone an additional XP. And because Quarry, Micah did have some really good zingers, I gave him an additional one. Let me ask for some feedback as we conclude. I'm going to end the recording, and then I'll ask some quick feedback. Micah, I know you need to get to your family. I want to get you there, so it'll be very brief. But for those watching, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you on the next one in 2 weeks. We'll see you around.
Bye.
Laters.
Okay.